Hi, my name's Master 101,
Zarietti.
and we're playing Lenna's Inception for this game. It's a rogue-like Zelda sort of thing. Sorry, I had to burp, and I almost burped up.
Bear 122, which is often referred to as the boss, is a spectacularly large grizzly bear who has dominated the Banff National Park in Canada for the last decade as its apex predator.
Apex Predator?
It's almost twice the size of a regular grizzly bear.
Oh no.
Colombian drug smugglers built submarines in the jungle that are capable of transporting $400 million worth of drugs as well as several people at a time. They are nearly impossible to detect via radar. And prior to 2016, since 2016, the Coast Guard calls these Bigfoots because of how elusive they are.
That's terrifying.
In ancient Egypt, people who had dwarfism were worshipped because it was believed they had a special relationship with certain gods.
Oh yeah, there's a couple of gods that are sort of dwarf-like.
In a blind tasting test, beer drinkers couldn't tell whether a beer was from a can or a bottle of piss.
Ew.
Not just kidding. It wasn't a bottle of piss. It was just a bottle.
I think my favorite, thing is, the thing where it's oh, I confuse wine people by, holding the wine up to my ear when I I drink it. And they start doing it as well, and they, try to seem all interesting.
I like how people were like, well, beer is an acquired taste. So, Stockholm Syndrome.
I mean, okay, there's one beer I like. There's only one beer that I like in the world, and it's like a German fruit beer.
I just drink either wine, regular spirits like vodka and rum, like cocktails.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes mead. I don't like beer.
Yeah, that's fair.
Kenny Loggins was the third choice to record Danger Zone for the 1986 blockbuster movie Top Gun. Producers originally approached Toto and Corey Hart before settling on Loggins, but both refused because they said it was stupid. The song went on to be one of the best-selling soundtracks in all time.
Nice.
Japan owns a larger percent of U.S. debt than China. China only owns 3.9% of the U.S. debt, while Japan owns 15.5% of the U.S.'s debt.
Huh. That seems fucked up.
The U.S. airlines commonly offered bereavement affairs, allowing passengers to travel to funeral and medical emergencies at deep discounts. The practice was stopped by most carriers in the early 2000s, with the exception of Delta and Alaska Airlines. Kodak operated a secret nuclear reactor in the basement of their headquarters for 30 years to save on power.
Kodak, as in
The camera company.
Camera company?
Yeah. How are we going to cut costs? Everything's expensive. Build a nuclear reactor. We'll have it in the basement.
Huh. That's interesting. If I had a nickel for every time there was a secret nuclear reactor in my home, I have know what I'm trying to say.
Well, I would have 7 nickels. And a crippling case of uranium poisoning.
Isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice.
That's why you go with thorium, kids. Anyway. Despite playing 2,350 live concerts over 30 years, There exists some form of a live recording of every Grateful Dead show except one. On March 17th, 1970, a reward offered to anyone who can procure the lost tape.
Oh, interesting.
In 72, Billy Joe got into a legal battle with his label and was forbidden from recording. He moved to LA and played at a bar under an assumed name to earn money. This was the inspiration for the song Piano Man, and all the characters of the bar were based on real people Joe had met at the bar.
Oh. Play me a
Uh,
song. You're the tax evasion man.
the island of Discussion, which is a tiny Scottish island, where locals involved in disputes would be taken there until some cheese and whiskey, and just left on the island until they'd reach a mutual. Now you guys can't leave until you get your shit sorted.
You guys can't leave until you eat some cheese and whiskey.
The original script for the Groundhog Day movie indicated the main character went through the same day time loop for 10,000 years.
That doesn't sound great. That doesn't sound good.
The Saparmurat Niyazov, which is the former president of Turkmenistan, made a number of bizarre decrees and laws, including the abolishing of the native language word for bread and replacing it with his mother's name, banning the opera and ballet and replacing it with techno, and banishing dogs from the capital city.
Sounds like a man that has acute radiation poisoning.
The first Star Wars movie in 1997 was offered by George Lucas to Disney but got declined. It was released by Fox instead and became the highest-grossing movie ever. Decades later, Disney would buy both Star Wars franchise and 20th Century Fox for billions of dollars. John R. Brinkley, which is an American quack who convinced men to let him sew goat testicles into their abdomen as a way to increase male virility, as well as a cure-all for sorts of ailments and diseases.
Huh.
Project Azorian, which was a 1974 project where the CIA built a gigantic claw and lowered it 3 miles to the bottom of the Pacific Ocean to snag the entire wreck of a sunken Soviet submarine, was only partially successful.
As most things are.
World chess champion Magnus Carlsen once checkmated Bill Gates in 9, lost it in 1 round of 20 seconds.
Huh.
Radiohead comprised a song for the James Bond movie Spectre, then got rejected for being too dark.
I'll give my life for you.
Gorda, California is home to the most consistently expensive gasoline in the entire North America. 1 milliliter of seawater can contain up to 10 million viruses.
Ooh.
That volume of seawater may also contain 1 million bacteria, whereas sea sediment and soil contain up to 1 billion virus particles per cubic centimeter.
Slurp, slurp.
Electronic television was first successfully demonstrated in San Francisco on September 7th, 1927. The system was designed by Philino Taylor Farnsworth, a 21-year-old inventor who had lived in a house with electricity until he was 14. Did you know that Harold Lewis we have letters from Harold Lewis Latimer, who was one of the guys who invented the filament that then Edison later stole. I believe he worked for Edison for a brief period of time.
Mm-hmm.
And did most of the work on the light bulb.
Hashtag fuck Edison.
Edison stole most of his shit.
Hashtag fuck Edison.
We have letters of him to Edison after they invent the light bulbs, asking basically where the damn hell all these thoughts are coming from.
All these what are coming from?
where in the hell all these damn moths are coming from?
What the? That's fucking. Damn it. It would be later revealed that he sprayed the filaments with moth pheromones.
That reminds me of, like, I think it was Tesla who was doing an electronic test, and was doing with lightning, like had illuminated these wires that were all like they were like lined up to the coils, and they like were brought out, and he was like trying to transfer the energy in mass, like I think it was like see how many different directions you could send electricity at the same time while like still being able to charge stuff. Anyway, he was doing one test and they needed to recalibrate it, and so while I was recalibrating, the wires were still kind of glowing with like the electricity, so a shit ton of moths landed on them. And then when he started the machine up again, he fried like 15,000 moths.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
And unrelated note, there's a ceremony where they had like a dish that had like oil in it, but it was like there was oil in the center, some like residue. And there was a lot of it wasn't like covered, but it was like a big ceremonial dish for the flame. And it was 7 feet tall, so most people couldn't see it, like the top of it into it. So when they rolled with the Olympic flames, they like hand it to the lady, and the lady lights the Olympic ceremonial big torch. But there were like 100 pigeons in it, and all of those pigeons fire, and the smell of burning pigeon was said to permeate the entire event.
Well, you know what they say, burnt pigeon just smells like fried chicken. You know what I mean?
It does not. It smells significantly worse. During the 1905 Russian Revolution, the Tsar flirted with imposing a military dictatorship to avoid reform. When he asked the Grand Duke Nicholas, a respected commander, to become dictator, the nobleman drew his pistol and threatened to shoot himself in the head if the Tsar refused to institute reforms.
Nice. Well, I mean, not nice about the like shoot. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Never mind. Ignore me.
Axolotls can transition into full-fledged salamanders when excessive iodine. Unlike male chimpanzees, male bonobos experience a rise in both estrogen and testosterone on near equal levels during puberty.
Huh. Interesting.
There are 3 basic types of tears: basal, emotional, and reflex. And they have been measured to have different chemical compositions.
Okay, what's basal?
I don't know. There was a Polish operation called NKVD, which is the Soviet security police, which lasted from 1937 to 38, in which anti-Polish mass ethnic cleansing operation was carried out in the USSR with the order of Politburo, resulting in the sentencing of 139,835 people and executions of 111,091 people.
Huh.
9/11's memorial brass panels on which the victims' names are inscribed have their own heating and cooling systems, so they're never too hot or too cold to the touch.
Huh.
A clapper board is a square hinge device clapped on the top of to start a filming. A scene is clapped in frame like that to make it easier to sync to the audio and video when they edit it later. Oh, because it makes a loud noise. Okay. Bobby Pickett finished the demo of the Monster Mash in 1962 and was rejected by every major music label. Finally, a willing producer was found by a small record label, and then the song hit #1 on the charts. It went gold 3 times in the first week and has been charted in multiple years since.
Well, hey, it was a graveyard smash.
So we done?
Yeah, we're done. 15 minutes.
Okay. Bye, guys, gals, and bye now.
Bye, everyone.